rolling. What? Are we back in the early 2000s where new metal and AMVs were a bread and butter combo? Hey, I'm in! Okay, the opening credits has been out for like almost a day now, and I would like to share my opinions on it. And yes, I'm kinda late, so I'm pretty sure some of the stuff in here are already mentioned by other people, but I don't care. I just want to say my piece, so here we go. The first thing we see is lots of iconic Devil May Cry weapons. We got Rebellion, which transitions into Yamato, Alistair, Agni and Rudra, Force Edge. I don't know what that weapon is in the very back, Vendetta, Merciless, and the Red Queen. Nothing too crazy, I guess, aside from Red Queen and Alistair, since those two felt more of a tease on the later seasons instead of weapons being used in the start of Dante's early days. The designs do look cool and look pretty much the same, maybe except for some little adjustments here and there. But hey, I'm digging it. And look what we have here. We get to see the Voltaic Black Knight himself, Cavalier Angelo. Now this may look weird to some people since this is a DMC5 enemy, and seeing him fighting a younger Dante would kind of feel weird. But at the same time, it still kind of makes sense since Cavalier Angelo is just quote-unquote failed prototype of a Nelo Angelo made by Mundus. So he probably could have just sent a Cavalier Angelo to hunt Dante, like the same thing he did with the fake Vergil, Gilver. So, maybe that's the case on why Cavalier Angelo is in this first season. Also, Cavalier Angelo is considered a fail because it needs some sort of battery for it to operate. Now for DMC5's case, that would be Trish. Now for this one, I don't know who's going to be the battery. And I doubt Trish would show up in this season, so that's gonna be interesting who's inside our little Black Knight in here. Finally, we get to see the iconic Ebony and Ivory. I guess the speculations were true that he will eventually meet up with Neil Goldstein to have those two beautiful guns get created. And I guess maybe the couple of the first few episodes will probably just see Dante use those generic Berettas until he probably meets with Nell, or Nell notices he keeps replacing his guns every mission. Regardless, I'm happy to see them back. Lady, she looks very tactical this time. Maybe even law enforcement related, or maybe a mercenary, judging by the battle suit. She also has a little portable grappling hook now instead of using her Kalina Ann to grapple. Pretty neat. Also, very curious on what direction they will take with her story, since I have not seen Arkham on this trailer at all. And that guy is very important to her character arc, so I guess we'll have to wait. I don't know who this is, but I'll assume this is some type of government stuff involved that is probably reminiscent to the reboot. Since the reboot has the media, law enforcement, and the government heavily involved in the story. Although for their case, there were demons trying to disguise as humans and trying to gain control on the population. And I guess we'll get that in here too. Or maybe it's just actual humans either trying to hunt down Dante, thinking he's just a demon. Or maybe they'll be allies. I don't know. I don't think we have seen much footage of them, so I guess we'll just have to see. But hey, not gonna lie, I do want to see more humans involved in DMC stories. Kind of similar to the DMC anime. I don't know, I guess it just makes the world feel more alive, I guess. Instead of just focusing strictly on Dante just fighting demons. I would like to see more humans interacting with Dante, and the world itself. Get to see the big cheese of DMC villains, Mundus. Not gonna lie to you, this design reminds me of the visions of V Mundus. I really like this design. Pretty faithful to his DMC1 appearance. Now for story stuff, I don't think Mundus would play an active role for this season. At the very least, maybe until the last episodes, I guess. Since Mundus is just the type of guy who just secretly waits for the right moment to plan his attacks and not go fight recklessly. So I'll probably assume he'll play a waiting game and stick to the shadows type of stuff. I don't know, maybe in the next season or whatever the DMC1 season is, I'm pretty sure that's where he will finally pop off. I hope we get to see some multiversal or like universal bullshit power scales. I want to see how powerful the Prince of Darkness is. The Order of the Sword, huh? I did not expect for these motherfuckers to show up in here. But I feel like this is more of a tease for the later seasons. Maybe they'll play a support role in the enemy side in season 1. And Sanctus was already doing heinous shit in his younger days, like poisoning their current general to take his position. And he also met young Vergil when Vergil was trying to study about SPARDA and all that, which was mentioned in the novels. So I don't know, maybe there's a possibility here that the Order of the Sword might get involved, but we'll see.
Cerberus looking sick. Got no complaints here. But he seems to be controlled by someone. Oh, it's White Rabbit. Makes sense since White Rabbit has some sort of possession ability shown in the DMC 3 manga, so I guess it's probably really the one pulling the strings in the story, huh? The Brothers Amulet. It looks pretty identical to the reboot Amulet. Not sure how I feel about that. I very much prefer the classic Amulet. I just like that bulky, antique look they have. But hey, the merging between the red and blue Amulet does look kinda cool, I'm not gonna lie. And is this Nelo Angelo? If it is, I'm not too sure about the design. But to be fair, we don't get to see much of the details of it since the art style is kind of different for the opening. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now that I think about it, a lot of things shown in here are possibly just a setup in the future seasons. Because some of the stuff in here kinda, I wouldn't say contradict, but kinda just like feels weird to have them in the first season. Like you would expect Order of the Sword would show up in the later seasons, Mundus probably in the next season. That's just a feeling I get, especially with the Nelo Angelo. Like I don't see Vergil immediately getting Nelo Angelo in this season. At least that's how I feel. Alright, we got the big bad guy shown in here. We got a White Rabbit, which I definitely think will be the main villain of this season. We got Cavalier Angelo, Agni and Rudra, I think, Plasma from DMC 1, and the Echidna, I think? Okay, hold on. If she's in here, is there some possibility that Dante will travel to Fortuna at some point in the story in season 1? And I guess that's why the Order of the Sword was kind of like teased, like their logo? Okay. This is kind of interesting now. I mean, I could be wrong, but if that's how the story will go for season 1, interesting. Who are these sketchy looking dudes? Still don't know what they're affiliated with. Looks like some type of spec ops, especially this Master Chief looking ass dude in the right. Maybe they are Devil Hunters, since other Devil Hunters exist in the OG DMC timeline. I don't know, they could be an ally for Dante, or they could be a foe. Regardless, I'm interested who these characters are, and would love to see more human interaction in the story. SPARDA! Oh man, we got SPARDA in here. Maybe we'll get to see a little flashback of SPARDA taking down Mundus. Ooh, that would be sick. Seeing SPARDA finally in action would be a sight to see for DMC fans, and I'm hoping we get to see that in here. Maybe just, maybe just a minute of just him busting ass on demons and on Mundus. That's all I want to see. Or maybe, maybe an episode dedicated to him. Hey, that would be sick. Arius, really? You're here? Well, shit, as long as they make his character more interesting, I'm down. He could still be teased for an enemy in the later seasons, but he could actually work as an enemy on Dante's early days, since in the DMC 5 novel, Ouroboros, which is Aria's fucked up company, existed way back when Nero and Nico weren't even born. Agnes worked for that company, and that's also where he met Nico's mom. And Nico was born, so yeah. There is a possibility that this motherfucker Arius could be involved in, maybe not directly involved, but maybe he lends a little bit of his company power to aid White Rabbit or some of that type of shit. I don't know. But hey, if he's in this season, that'll be interesting to see. And if he's in the later seasons, I don't mind that at all too. Alright, last but not the least, the opening song. It's Limp Bizkit. I mean, love or hate that guy, he was very influential in the early 2000s, where nu metal and alternative metal bands like Linkin Park, Breaking Benjamin, Slipknot, 3 Days Grace, and Limp Bizkit had the AMVs, GMVs, and combo videos in a goddamn chokehold. That was the bread and butter back for the videos back then, and it just fits as the DMC opening in a weird way. A good kind of weird way. I guess it's safe to assume every season will have some nu metal or alternative metal banger. Here's hoping some Breaking Benjamin or Linkin Park in the next season. Alright, I guess that's all the interesting stuff I can find. Got lots of vague stuff that they've shown, but hey, can't spoil everything on the opening, I guess. I hope Adi Shankar pulled this one off. He's been hyping this one up in his Twitter, and he seems pretty confident about it, which is good to see, but keep our expectations in check. And if it does exceed our expectations, well, Adi Shankar, you hit the jackpot. But it's not April 3 yet, so we'll have to wait. Hope this damn anime goes well. I'm tired and need some sleep. Goodbye.